Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls of Guild and Coin. Today we're joined by Pandora's Secret's very own Jeffrey as Lilith.
Me. I'm here. Barely.
Um, we're joined by Reven as Julinak the Dirty Dancer.
Yeah, I'm back.
Um, by Amrit as played by Brenna.
Yay.
And the Murder Machine Zira played by Irish Bob.
Woot!
Alright.
And we're all gonna trade characters.
Oh dear.
Whoever I get will be super sleepy and super slow.
So, where we left off last time, the group had made its way northward from Wayrest and High Rock. The initial thought was let's scout the way ahead on the road from Wayrest to Wrothgar. But a massive dark anchor dropped from the sky, and you guys went straight for that dark anchor, killed a bunch of cultists, killed a bunch of zombies, killed a bunch of scamps, and killed a giant skeleton. Thereby breaking that dark anchor's hold on Nirn and preventing a portion of Molag Bel's realm of Coldharbour from merging with Nirn. Shortly after that, however, Lilith has a ring that has a partner ring that she had given to her daughter, which suddenly rang as if it were a cell phone, a magical holographic cell phone, and we ended up finding out that that Lilith's daughter, Lyra, has been captured by someone, along with Yujin, a friend of Zoe's, and basically needs help getting out. And so after that, the ring was activated, and we have been following a magical beam of light extending from... I'm assuming you're wearing the ring on your middle finger. You're probably just flipping everything off as you're following the light.
Sure, yeah. Go with that.
And everybody knows we're in the business of prison breaks.
In more ways than one.
It's unfortunate that Jeffrey actually has a child now.
What? What is the prison? Prison in more ways than one. I'm so confused.
Well, I mean, not necessarily just prisons. I mean, you guys have broken out of one prison. You guys defenestrated a mage out of a tower, which could have been a prison depending on the situation. Yeah, there are plenty of options.
I love to defenestrate. It's
yes,
a good word.
It's a great word. So you guys follow the ring, and it leads you guys along the main roads, which kind of take you westward through Stormhaven, the kind of the middle portion of High Rock. Then turns along the main road toward the north, up toward Friendship Gate, which through Friendship Gate you enter the southwestern border of Wrothgar. The ring continues to lead you northeast as far as a bridge, which crosses a river near near Frostbreak Fortress, which Amrit, from your map, you would know is a major stronghold for the Wrothgarian orcs. From the moment you guys hit that bridge, however, the light from the ring turns sharply southward, and begins to lead you guys into a small mountain range. And as you go further south, the mountains around the valley begin to drop away into steep rocky cliffs. And in the center of the valley, you can actually see a group of people wearing robes, kind of milling about, carving into these standing stones that they've erected kind of on the outside of this circular perimeter. And in the center of that perimeter is a large circular stone structure, not unlike the dolmen whose chains you guys had broken near Cumberland's watch. So, seeing this on this lovely, bright, sun shining day, what would you guys like to do?
Take some Mixagen first.
So we're doing with more cultists now.
Possibly. If you'd like to creep closer, you can see who these people are and what they're up to.
I want to roll a check and see if I know what they're up to.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
So we can see what your elf eyes see.
My elf eyes. I would also like to roll a check.
Mm-hmm.
What?
What?
My dice tried to run away.
Just realized perhaps having my character sheet might help me play the game.
It would help.
You could just like go in blind. Like I roll for history check and it's like a -1.
So you got an 18? Yes. So from this distance, you're able to just barely make out some of the regalia of these robes, and it's definitely familiar to you. They're robes. Whoa. They're the robes that a lot of cultists would wear in the cult of the Black Worm.
Are they worshipping the Alaskan bullworm?
They aren't, but
the Alaskan bullworm.
You're gonna have to. Are they building an anchor place?
From this distance, you're not entirely sure, but the shape of the stones in the center look like that could be what they're doing.
Everyone knows you can't anchor the Alaskan bullworm.
And how many cultists are there?
Go ahead and did you do a perception check?
Yeah, I got a 20.
You got a 20? From what you can see at your vantage point, you count maybe 12 bodies. You're not sure if there might be any other people hiding behind some of these stones. As you guys kind of get closer and are still kind of hidden by some of the brush, you can see that some of these people are carving Daedric runes and energy channels into the stones in the area. So they're most definitely working on building something similar to a dolmen.
And is this where the ring led us, or is this just on the way?
This is toward the end of the valley, where as you go further southward, it just kind of ends in steep cliffs that are a little bit that would be too difficult to scale upward. But the ring did lead you into this valley. The ring did you.
Did it ask my permission before it did me?
No, it bought you dinner first.
Oh, okay. That's good enough, honestly. That's all I need.
So yeah, you can see 12 cultists. They look like they're busying themselves around these stones.
Yeah.
Not that kind of busying.
Not that kind of busy.
I mean, except for Joey over there. He's off near one of the trees, and you can just see him going to town.
God damn, Jerk and Joey, typical.
Oh, I know they're cultists. I'm just trying to decide how reckless she's going to be.
Okay. No child, alright? We're not going to touch the cultists this time. We got into trouble with that last time.
We're not going
trouble?
to
I
touch
killed
the
them.
cultists this time.
No trouble at all.
So,
I was like, God damn it, we already had to deal with one restraining order.
so
Another one.
I had to deal with the second one, and also I
I-
got like some blood on my robe, so you know.
So I would like to encourage like for like in character whispering and stuff like that, for that to be verbally communicated, because our poor viewers all of a sudden heard Sierra just go, "I know they're cultists," with no context.
Oh, okay, all right.
I meant it as a joke, but okay.
So I'm assuming we're all relatively close together as we're like eyeing these guys.
Fairly close together, yeah.
I think we should sneak by them or something like that. Or maybe we should eavesdrop on them a little more, see what more they do.
Zira thinks we should kill them all, but that's, her usual view on these particular cultists.
Well, DragonEssence think we should just chill out for a little bit. We just need to calm down.
If they are indeed making a dolmen, they will finish what they are doing and then move to sacrifice someone. Do you really wish to watch someone be sacrificed?
Not unless we need to step in.
Well, if we don't step in, they're gonna perform the ritual, sacrifice somebody, and bring part of Coldharbour to this world.
Well, we haven't even seen them sacrifice anyone, so we can't
They're
just like racial.
Assholey cultists who like to kill people.
I love this argument. This is my favorite argument ever. Raven's like, well, they haven't sacrificed anyone yet.
Well, they
Maybe
haven't.
Zira is just stereotyping.
Yeah, she's just like almost like profiling them.
Maybe they're
It's
just,
stereotypes for a reason.
they're just, making rock art. You don't know.
So if you're saying like there are stereotypes, I'm guessing like all a bunch of like red guards are just like murdering assholes.
Wow.
Yes, actually. I believe that's 90% of our profession pool.
As someone who has read lots of books and knows many magic tomes, they are not doing anything good.
Well, we could. You guys are so like racist or something against cultists.
Being a cultist is not a racial thing, it's a religious thing.
Religious,
We're
not being
religious.
religious.
I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Bigots?
It was like,
What's the word for that?
you have something against their profession is what I'm trying to say.
Classist?
Classist? Yes, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, they're cultists, kill them.
No, they're worm cultists. I'm very specific.
Oh yeah, the Alaskan bullworm, I forgot. Duncan's
So-
here, but he's muted.
Trash star.
Trash star.
Yeah, Trash Star's joining in.
Oh, you guys are so rude. First, Reven tells me I'm
call you
trash.
trash star since the very beginning. Why am I rude?
I have never called him Trash Star.
I know some of us did.
And it was all your fault.
Don't you normalize your hatred, Reven?
So you guys see these cultists milling about and doing their thing. You guys from the site that they're working on, you guys are roughly I'd say maybe 150 feet away, just far enough to be able to be hidden by the brush, but not close enough to where they'd be able to notice you right off the bat unless you were to start making a lot of noise.
Okay.
How much distance do I have of brush before I would be out in the open?
Maybe about 50 feet.
Okay.
Like a firewall. Nice.
I just suggest we just like sneak by them at least, like just keep moving forward.
A 23 on my stealth to start creeping towards them.
Yeah, you start creeping.
She doesn't say anything to the group. She just sees that there's cultists and just slowly starts working her way towards the closest one with murderous intent.
That's why.
Like the predator stalking in the night.
That's why.
Yes.
Can I invisibrew myself?
I think you've got that spell, yeah?
I do.
Alright. Go ahead and cast your spell.
Do I roll for it?
Which
Or do I
form of
just
invisibility
touch
is it?
my
Is it
body right?
is it greater invisibility or just invisibility?
It's regular. You think I have greater? Think I'm some sort of good at things person?
You don't have to roll anything, it just does it.
Okay, I'm gonna touch my body right and then follow Zira.
Okay.
Assuming you saw where I went.
I think you need to watch
lost
out
her.
to see where I go.
You guys were all kind of in the same area, so it's fairly obvious what Sierra did, at least to this group.
Which is unfortunate because the only way to stop her would be to actually physically stop her, and she's gonna go kill somebody.
How are you gonna stop someone who's invisible? You can't stop me from stopping you.
I think I could, because the second you touched me, I would know where you are.
Debatable.
And if you startle her while she's in murderous mode, you'll find out what happens.
Listen, it's not an adventure unless you're willing to die for the cause. Whether it be useful death or not.
As my good friend Lawson would say, I'm committed.
Yup.
All right,
Yeah, but
so
Lawson's committed to playing the wrong kind of character.
all right, so Zira and Jeffrey are sneaking up closer. What are the rest of you doing?
Also sneaking up closer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yay!
Why?
Toshtar, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Tashtar's on board for killing them. It's great.
I love how it's like immediately he hops
Great,
in. He's
now
like,
it is.
alright, I'm ready.
If I fail this, I'm gonna be very sad.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Wait, how many of them are there?
12.
69.
Or so.
Oh,
How
great.
does 27 do you?
Okay, you're just as invisible as Lilith and Zira.
Woo! Nobody else follow us. You're not all invisible. I cheated,
Curiosity,
but
are they in fireball formation?
They are not. They're actually fairly spread out. I posted up a picture in Lore and Pictures. It's the same picture that I'm using for the video, of kind of what this all looks like. So they're pretty well spread out.
Aw, damn.
okay, so there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5 cultists. Alright, we're good.
There's more than what's pictured.
There's 5 cultists in this picture. One appears to be relaxing.
One of them's on their
One's
seat.
reading. See? They're so distracted.
The one that was dicking off over by the tree, he's gonna die first.
Is that
I'd
who
be
you're going
amazed
toward?
If he died last.
Is that is that who Zira's going toward? The one who's distracted by wanking it in the grass?
Oh my god, it's whatever his name is. Jerkin.
Leroy Jenkins?
Leroy Jerkin.
I was gonna say that.
Duncan has no idea where this came from, but he's gonna say it.
No, but it's still funny.
Yep.
What is Julinak and Emrate doing?
Oh my god.
She wasn't prepared for that kind of question.
I think
No, I wasn't because I wanted to sneak by them, but you guys are. I need to protect my children, so I'm just gonna follow you guys to make sure you guys don't get fucked up.
You wanted to sneak by them, so now you're mad because you have to sneak with us?
Yes.
You're like, oh god damn it,
By
you guys are
where?
making me
We
do
don't
what I
know
wanted
exactly
to do.
where we're going, and these cultists are a problem.
Well, we don't know that. You guys are just being racist.
So,
Problem. We
about
have to
Coldharbour
solve.
is
hey
really
guys,
the
hold
problem.
on. Hold on, guys. Reven, you guys actually have encountered these cultists before on multiple occasions, and you do know that they're up to no good.
Okay.
This is the
I'll
same.
sync up with them.
Yeah, this is the same kind of cultist that the mage in the tower was. And
Yeah.
these cultists are seeking to bring the realm of Coldharbour to Nirn, which is ruled over by the Daedric Prince of domination, enslavement, and torture.
You guys make it sound like it's a bad thing.
I know. I was gonna say I'm down. Why is everyone being so hateful? Nobody asked my opinion. Maybe I wanted to be dominated.
So you passed up a job to steal stuff, but you're gonna let cultists.
Yeah, I'm gonna let
Are you a cultist?
I don't. Well,
Cultists of the
Oh
Alaskan
no, they're
bullworm.
converting us.
depends on
So-
who's asking.
Alright, so Zira, Lilith, and Tashtar are sneaking up. Julinak is sneaking up. Julinak needs to make a stealth check.
Oh, and Zira's gonna try to like fan out to hopefully
guy.
I
surround.
got 23.
23? Okay.
Mhm.
So that just leaves Amrit kind of hiding in the grass,
I'm
way
worried.
in the back.
Have been too good.
Like 30 feet, so I'm 120 feet from.
Okay. I'd like you to make a stealth check as well, just to see if you're able to do so without rustling any of the brush.
21.
21. You guys are all stealthy motherfuckers.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't cheat at all. I'm just stealthy.
Alright. So Zira kind of left or right? Toward Leroy Jerkins or toward some of the other cultists?
Towards whichever direction you was closest.
Leroy Jerkins is the closest. He's near a tree.
Leroy Jerkins.
Okay,
As you
then-
get closer, you realize he's not very well endowed, but he's kind of moving as if he were.
Oh God.
You're
She
welcome.
probably didn't know what he was doing over by the tree when she first started approaching him, and she probably still doesn't know what he's doing by the tree, but she's gonna kill him. So...
I was gonna say she's like kind of a child.
All right.
She is a child.
So go ahead and roll some initiative for me. You guys will get a surprise round.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Wait, what are we doing? Sorry.
Initiative.
Oh shoot.
Initiative, Jeffrey. Good.
Go. Oh yeah, we post in Discord. 19. Do. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can do this. Probably not though, because I'm a big dumb. No, I don't want to open Blizzard.
Okay. So as you guys sneak closer, Tashtar, you're the closest. You get up just enough to the point where you'd be able to get the drop on them first.
Which is the closest one that isn't Leroy Jerkins?
Over by a wagon, there appears to be a cultist who he's kind of taking a break. He's from your vantage point, it looks like he's reading a copy of the Lusty Argonian Maid.
So he was also probably in the next 5 minutes going to be another Leroy Jerkins.
Possibly.
Given enough time. Yeah.
His name's Leroy Dickens, so.
No, it's actually Leroy Jerkoff.
Wow.
Is he far enough away from the brush where if I try to go kill him, like, close by, he'd probably see me coming?
Well, he's facing away from you, so he wouldn't see you coming. But if you were to jump out of the brush, it would blow your cover, with everyone else. Like, it won't blow everyone else's cover. We're in bullet time, so basically, everything that you guys are going to do is all going to happen fairly simultaneously, within 6 seconds.
Alright.
So,
Well, I'm just gonna run up and stab him.
stab a stab. Go ahead and do your stab a stab.
That's a nat 20.
Very nice.
Damn.
Go ahead and do your damage. Just so you guys know, there are 3 over by the main portion of the dolmen in the center. One
So
is...
those
Oh my god. What have I done?
One is Leroy Jerkins. Argonian Maid is close to the cart, along with another cultist who looks like he's taking a nap. And the rest of the cultists, the other 6, it looks like there's 1 at each of the standing stones. They all look like they're carving something into those stones.
Oh my
So-
god, I'm so mad this isn't working.
How close I am to like the one that's sleeping, or where is the one that's sleeping? Is it like away from the crowd?
He's sleeping on the cart. He's right next to the guy reading the Lusty Argonian Maid, whom Dashtar
Trash tar.
whom Tashtar is currently stabbing. Go ahead and roll your damage for me.
Okay. 8.
8.
It's double all of your dice. Don't you have sneak attack?
I did not roll twice.
And you do have sneak attack in this
Oh
situation.
my god, I'm so mad. Why is this not happening?
13.
13, is that including your 3d6 of sneak attack?
Did not add another d6. 18.
18 damage. You walk, like, you sneak up and like, you slit his throat and he drops.
Whoa.
It's incredibly silent. The guy in the cart didn't even wake up.
Yay, murder!
Murder, murder.
Zira, you're over by Leroy Jerkins.
No, it almost worked out perfectly. Oh my god.
I'm gonna stab Leroy Jerkins.
Where are you stabbing him? Just out of curiosity's sake.
Yeah, where are you stabbing him at?
Well, how tall is he?
God damn it, this is almost perfect.
He's-
Oh my god, I'm so bad.
He's a Breton, so about average human height.
But you said he was not well endowed. Now you're saying he's about average?
He's about average height. He's just not well endowed for his height.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go for the femoral.
Okay, just slipping it right in between his thighs. Go for it.
You whisper to him first.
I'm gonna give you
Oh my
advantage
God.
because it looks like he's starting to peak.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god, I didn't know what you meant at first, and then I was like, oh my god. Oh, I get
Alright,
it.
that's a crit.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
You slip it in there and like,
Stop.
yeah, he drops. He doesn't even get a chance to finish.
Oh my god.
Josh, are you even allowed to like put this on YouTube anymore?
Not anymore. No.
I'm putting a mature
It's
content
fine.
rating.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
did
enough.
him dropping draw any attention?
No, wait. I'm laughing at what the fuck I've been doing for the longest time. Oh my god, it looks horrific but amazing. I love it. Oh my god. How do I save this?
He doesn't make any noise. Like
Oh my God.
he was out of breath as it was, and when you stabbed him, that kind of like that close to his junk, it kind of took his breath away. Literally.
Okay.
Hey Josh, I have some fan art in the Discord coming up, just so you know.
Oh dear.
I'm concerned. Okay. After she stabs him, then she wants to kind of retreat back into the brush.
Okay. She easily does that.
She predator strikes and then retreats.
Wash your hands.
Goes back and hunts out another one.
Just wash out your hand. Just wash your hands.
It is Lilith's turn. You're invisible.
God. I don't. Okay.
You're doing invisible sneaky snoo. Probably the closest living cultist to where you're at is the one napping in the cart.
Are there any like? Oh my God! Wait, hang on. Will this work?
Oh dear.
What? That didn't work at all. What if I just... What? Okay, never mind. Ignore this. How do I delete that? That's not what I want at all. Anyways, so there's one near me. There's not a group that I could get within a range of, or are there certain ones that happen to be next to each other?
In the center of the site, there are three cultists that are kind of grouped close together, working on the main body of the dolmen. They are the ones that are in what we have started coining fireball formation.
How close would you say they are to each other? Like,
they're about 5 feet from one another. It looks like one is kind of reading from a book. He's possibly dictating what runes to inscribe where. Another one is working on carving energy channels
from a book, like this one.
And then the third one is actively carving the runes into it.
I never saw the cultists sleeping against the cart until right now. There were 6. I was wrong this whole time. All right. Anyways, God, all I want to do is work on what I was just working on, but I understand I have to play the game. Okay, so let's see. So they're within 5 feet. So let's say, hypothetically, just because I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing, so I'm trying to clarify it. Let's just say, hypothetically, I wanted to use a spell that would contain something within a 5-foot cube. Does that mean since they're 5 feet away from each other, I would get like 2 in the cube at most? Is that what I'm understanding?
If you angle it just right, you'd have to move maybe about 50 feet to your right. You could possibly get all 3 of them at once.
Okay, well,
otherwise,
if I have to move 50 feet, then I'm going to use my first turn to move my 35 feet and then hang on.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could snag 2 of them. So,
if I can wait to snag 3, I'll wait to snag 3.
Okay, so you sneaky snoo to your right?
Yes.
Okay. Amrit.
Don't pull any bullshit. I'm invisible.
Amrit, you've been kind of hanging back just a little bit, and you've already watched 2 cultists drop, as silently as the breeze passing through the valley.
That's beautiful.
Okay. I don't like when you do that.
It's a very beautiful analogy for all the murder we're doing.
I'm
Yes.
so excited to show you guys this, but I need to get it to work. It's so beautiful. It's my favorite thing.
I'm greatly concerned.
What the fuck? No, there we go. Perfect.
What you gonna do?
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm not good at Photoshop, but I'm so excited for
You
this.
told me you're paying attention.
Oh.
And then you stared off into space.
I'm good. Just staring.
That's pretty much how it was. I nudged her and she's like, I'm okay. And I turned and I stare at her and she's spacing out.
I'm sorry. I did not get enough sleep. Do I want to give it away? That's the question.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
That's
You-
a good
you guys
song,
are-
so I believe I will give it away.
You guys are still in the middle of a surprise round, so they won't act until the next round begins. So.
Oh my god, what do
I want to surprise fire and firebolt the 3 in the middle.
But-
Fireball the 3 in the middle.
All right. So go ahead and
They
cast.
are information.
They are
It's gonna
information.
be a little overkill, but I don't care.
You've been waiting to cast this spell for the last, 4 sessions.
I
God
have.
damn it. Get
I
out
have
of
a
here, you stupid line. I don't need you anymore. Get out.
Where's my pencil?
I'm so
I don't
angry
know.
right now.
Pencil.
Did you actually take it out of your?
I might have
Case?
put it back in my case.
No, that's not the one I want.
No, that's a pen.
Get your dice.
So they all need to make a dexterity saving throw or an agility saving throw. So let's see here. What's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 16.
Okay, so one manages to jump out of one manages to jump out of the way as another one actually
Oh my God.
ignites. In fact, the blast of your fireball created just enough of a shockwave to kind of throw the other two back a little bit. They'll still take half. They'll still take half damage, but only one of them takes the full 8d6.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm a monster.
Take that, Loki.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
He's beautiful.
I'm a little scattered here. 1, 2, 3, 4,
The
5,
porter was a
6,
terrible idea. Get the shit out of here.
7, 8.
Jeffrey, struggling.
Listen. Oh no, I've ruined everything. No. Damn it. Alright. Going back.
That's such a beautiful
That's
sound.
fireball damage.
I'm just trying to pay tribute to the most beautiful character in this entire game.
Pierre.
20,
No.
30, 30. That would be 30 damage for the one that takes, and 15 for the ones that take half.
So, the one in the middle is vaporized. The other two get thrown back, and when they hit the ground, they stop moving.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Which leaves us with Julinak.
Are there any valuables nearby me at all?
Any what?
Things to
Valuables?
steal, apparently.
He's got priorities.
You are
Fighting. She's like, nah, you're good.
you are right next to you're near the cart where Tashtar killed one guy and another cultist is napping. Inside the cart, it looks like there might be there are a couple of satchels and a chest inside the cart. But the chest is currently underneath the guy who's napping.
Beautiful.
Underneath the guy who's napping?
Yeah, he's laying on it.
Someone killed the guy who's napping.
No, he killed the guy who's reading next
Okay.
to the guy who's napping.
Okay, alright.
Good.
Then...
Interrogate
What's
him.
that? Should interrogate him.
Hold a knife to
Okay.
his dick.
Put a knife to his dick. Okay. Well, I can well, I
Choke him
kind of want to grab him. Huh? I
said choke
am.
him out.
I didn't. I know that's what I'm about to do.
Oh my
You stole my idea.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I'm gonna chokehold him and pop out and chokehold him.
Okay. Are you trying to kill him or are you trying to
Oh, it's too fancy.
Just,
God damn it.
keep him quiet and keep him alive?
Keep him quiet. I'll just kill him.
Okay, go ahead and do a strength check for me with advantage.
Alright. Phew. Where's my
Put a pillow over his face.
Put a pillow over his face. Get a sack of potatoes and strangle him with it. 21.
So You slip your fingers over his throat, and before he gets a chance to make a sound, you squeeze and you feel the bones crunch in his neck as you snap his neck.
Crunchy.
Crunchy. Hey, TriStar, I got you dinner.
Oh my god. All I want is for this to work. Why am I just awful? No, that's not.
Papa Orc provides
Old.
to everyone.
62.
All right, so
Okay.
that leaves
That's horrifying.
6 cultists left out here, and they're all over by the standing stones. And at this point, they've noticed the massive ball of fire that erupted in the middle of the clearing.
You don't fucking
Okay.
say.
So they all turn around, they see that, then they turn around and they see, at the very least, Amrit standing there, and Julinak in the cart.
Oh, good.
Oh my god.
So, Tashdar.
Like stupid.
Yep.
God damn it.
I just pulled
It is your turn, my cannibalistic friend.
Yay. How far away are the 6 remaining cultists?
So you're currently over by the cart, as seen in the picture. So there's 1 cultist at each of the 6 standing stones. So roughly about the nearest one is about 30 feet away from the cart. The rest of them are about like maybe 30 to 50 feet away from each other. They're all kind of equidistant.
I'm just gonna run to one of the ones at one of the standing stones, and I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds.
All right, go for it.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay. $19 damage.
What does your inflict wounds look like?
Well, I recall one of the first times I used it on a goblin, it made a head explode, and I enjoyed that.
Well, your signature head explosion happened again, so... so his head explodes and he drops to the ground. Next up is...
to get to the organs.
Next up is Zira.
Yay! I move to whichever cult is next.
Okay, so the standing stone nearest to you has been cleared by Tashdar, which leaves the remainder on the far side.
Okay, how far away from
Good
from
enough.
me is that?
About, I'm gonna say about 80 feet.
Okay, I Eldritch Blast him as I move towards it.
Okay, go for it.
I save.
I'm pretty sure that will hit him.
Alright.
As it is a 19 on the die, so that makes it a 24.
Oh yeah, it hits. He doesn't even get a chance to react. He turns around after the explosion happens, and... he turns around after the explosion happens, and, only to get an Eldritch Blast to his face.
Yup. He takes 8 damage.
Okay. He's grasping at his face where you'd hit him, and kind of screaming a bit.
Excellent.
Oh my god. What can
All
I
right.
save this?
Lilith
Oh my
is up
God.
next.
Jeffrey, stop photoshopping dicks and pay attention.
I can't. This is so funny. Oh my god. I'm just losing my mind. Sorry. Okay. So the 3 are still nearby me.
No, Amrit blew
God
them
damn
up.
it. God, they're all dead?
Amrit blew them all up with a fireball. Oh my gosh. I can't not share this with the viewers. Okay, so This is what Jeffrey's been working on ever since we made the Leroy Jerkins choke. Yeah, that right there. Newest Hearthstone card right there.
Keep in mind that I have absolutely no Photoshop skills. I just found a way to manipulate the text into a line I drew, so I drew it all derpy. And then changed the name. And then I found that effect for the photo, and I was like, you know what? There's no better effect than that one. I've been working on it for fucking 30 minutes, and that's what I got, guys. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Oh my god, I was just sitting there cracking up. I kept drawing the path wrong, and it kept fucking up. Oh my god. All right. Anyway,
just for that, Jeffrey. Just for that.
my life is complete.
There
All I
are.
wanted to do was make Leroy.
There are currently 4 cultists still standing. Each of them is at a standing stone. One of them is gripping his face and screaming since he got an eldritch bolt to the face. Whichever cultist you decide to attack next, you're going to get advantage on simply because of the Leroy Jerkins Hearthstone card.
Because he's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
I wish I could have spread out Jerkins more so you can see it a little clearer, but, you know, I like it. Anyways, so are there, I guess my final question is, are there any within 5 feet of each other?
No, they're all spread out about 50 feet from one another at this point.
The entire last turn, I had a plan, and now I don't have a plan. All right, well, so is there one that's closer than all the others, preferably within at least 35 feet of me?
That would be the one who's grasping at his face and screaming.
All right, well, I'm gonna go poke him. I got a katana. I'm gonna go poke him.
Alrighty, you go up and you poke him.
That's not called poking, Jeffrey. That's called stabbing.
Nope. It's just like on Facebook. It's called poking. That's what you do on Facebook. You poke someone with a knife. Okay, so I add my attack bonus, but I have advantage?
Yes.
Alright. Okay. That's maybe good that I got advantage, but not really. So that's okay. Great. So does 14 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's really good because on my attack roll I rolled a 9 and I was like, hopefully I roll higher, and then on my second one I rolled an 8 and I was like, ah.
So how do you murder Screamy McScreamins?
Do I murder him? Wait, that was to hit.
Yeah, he like the amount of damage a katana can do.
What if I roll 1d10 and I roll a 1 and I only do 3 damage? Huh?
You would have killed him.
I rolled a 3, so it's 5 damage.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
He did.
Yeah.
How do you murder?
As he's holding his head and screaming, I'm gonna cut off his hands and his head. He's got this. He looks like the Scream painting, and then I cut off his head and his hands, and then his head and hands roll away, but somehow his hands are still holding his head like that, but he's on the ground.
Good God, I'm stuck with a group.
Oh, you should have seen it the last few sessions.
Oh my god, I've never been more proud.
I only missed 2. How could it be so bad?
This is my favorite part.
Next up,
continue making him more beautiful.
Next up is Amrit.
So there's 3 left.
There are 3 left.
Oh my god.
All on the far side of the circle.
I'm not worried about them, so I'm just gonna start walking to the nearest corpse and rifle through his pockets.
Alrighty. So in his pockets you find 1 septum, and you find a broken soul gem.
Broken soul gem. Can soul gems get fixed?
Unfortunately, no. Once a soul gem is used, it shatters and can no longer be used.
Lame.
I mean, you can glue it back together.
I don't have super glue.
Then find
glue.
it.
Anything else you want to do to this body while you're by it?
Oh, right.
Beautiful.
mm,
Definitely doesn't ruin
Does he have any particularly interesting things about him or something?
The one closest to you, I think, is the one that Duncan stabbed. He does have, right next to him is a copy of the Lusty Argonian Maid Volume 4. And probably the only other thing you notice is that his tongue is in remarkably good condition for a cultist.
I may just want to take his time.
Okay.
Horrifying.
So as the main part of your action, you cut out his tongue. All right, Julinak.
All right. Well, since they're busy, and since am I unnoticed by the other cultists?
They're currently focused on, at this point, Tashtar and Zira and Lilith, who have all run up and just started murdering.
Well, I'm just gonna loot the stuff in the cart.
Okay. I'd like you to make a. I'd like you to make a dexterity check on the chest. You can add your proficiency if you have your thieves' tools.
Yeah. Alright. Wait, what do you want me to make again? Dexterity?
If you have proficiency in thieves' tools and you have your thieves' tools, you can go ahead and make a you can make the check with proficiency.
Alright.
Do you mean agility?
18.
18. You successfully managed to crack this chest open.
Yeah.
Inside, you find a couple of gems. They all look like soul gems to you.
Oh, okay.
And you also find 10 septums.
Ooh, 10 septums?
As well as a piece of paper, handwritten, and as you glance over it, it looks like it might be a recipe.
For what?
Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
Okay. 2.
Fish sticks.
Yay.
Dicks.
Thanks.
All right.
Josh, I have a slight question.
Yeah.
Was it the Lusty Argonian Maid you said Leroy was reading?
It was the other Leroy over by the cart. He was reading the 4th volume.
No other Leroy.
He was reading the Lusty Argonian Maid Volume 4.
Okay. Well, you're incorrect. It was actually Leroy. But anyways, sure.
God. So the three cultists left, see you guys kind of charging in, and they're going to charge back. Currently, the closest one to them is Lilith, and one gets close enough to be able to attack, and so he does. For a 9 versus your armor class, Jeffrey?
Nah.
He swings, but he's kind of off balance as he slips on one of the hands. And then the other two get up close to about 50 feet away, but they're not able to get close enough before Tashtar acts.
Okay. I have an idea.
Is it bad?
Probably yes.
This group isn't
I'm
known for
going
its good
to-
ideas.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is a great idea. We're murdering cultists.
How close am I to the cultists?
So from your vantage point, the nearest one is about 50 feet away. You're over by Lilith.
Okay. Well, never mind on my idea then.
You work today?
You are able to move closer. It is your turn.
Alright,
Yeah, but not quite close enough. Actually, wait. I am close enough because I have feline agility.
Yeah.
And I can double my speed for a turn.
Meow, 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 meow.
Second question. Can the cultists see the other cultists?
Yes, they can.
Okay, great.
They see each other?
You'll see why in a moment.
Slayer won't see one. You're doing more important things?
Maybe. So I'm going to see if I can intimidate them. Well, at least two of them. The third one is going to be how I'm intimidating them. I'm just gonna run up and try to bite his face.
Okay.
Hannibal Lecter.
Hey,
Go ahead and make a.
He was handling records in the DJ booth.
So you'll need to. You'll need to make a grapple. So I'm going to have you do a strength check.
okay. 16.
Okay, so you managed to get him in your arms, and you are chowing down on his face. You feel a weird twinge. I'd like you to make a willpower saving throw for me.
Oh no. 17.
Okay, so you feel this twinge and feel almost as if something's trying to urge you to do something, but you're not quite sure what it is. But you're able to resist that temptation and focus solely on eating this guy's face. The other
Does the
two,
intimidation work?
do an intimidation check for me.
That is an 8, so that'd be a no.
But at this point, they've seen you explode a guy's head. This isn't.
And I'm eating someone's face.
And you're eating somebody's face. They've just kind of just assumed that you're feral.
You know what?
Oh my god. I'm horrified. I'm doing something with the lusty Argonian maid.
Oh dear.
I have a like little excerpt from it, and I just read it for real, and I was like, oh my god.
It's filled with so many innuendos. Zira.
Naughty.
Yes.
The nearest cultist to you is currently being held in the Khajiit's arms with his face being eaten off. The next two cultists are about they're closing in on him. So
God damn it.
So yeah.
How close are they to me?
About 60 feet away. So close enough.
Okay, I cannot get to them in a single turn and still attack, so I will just shoot them with my Eldritch Blast as I move closer.
Go for it.
Does a 19 hit them?
Yes.
Okay. For 9 damage.
So your blast flies outward and manages to smack another one in the chest, and he drops.
Okay.
All right. Lilith. There are currently 2 cultists standing. One is getting his face eaten off, and the other one is running toward you and Tashtar.
Hang on. Okay, so one's coming towards me, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically,
so...
two are coming toward you.
Oh. So let's see. How far away are they?
From you, about they're closing in, so they're getting close to about 30 feet away.
Okay, so I'm gonna run 30 feet to meet one of them. I'm gonna stab him.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
Gonna stab. Okay, well, this is one less than it was last time because I immediately rolled another 8. So let's see. It's 13.
That hits.
Okay, good. I was like 14 hit. If 13 doesn't hit, that's bullshit. Oh, much better roll. It is a 10 total.
So you run up and you thrust your katana toward him, and it passes right through his chest like a hot knife through butter.
You're good.
Which just leaves the cultist who's currently getting his face eaten off.
Oh God.
Emrit and Julinak, is there anything you guys would like to do on your turns, or?
I mean, since there's no one else, I think I'll just keep on looting.
Okay.
Yeah, since there's no one else.
Emrit, are you looting the same thing, or are you looking for another tongue?
I don't need a second time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a quitter's attitude right there. You always need a second time.
Not for my purposes. They're not like, I'm not making jerky out of them.
Leroy would have liked.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Positive?
Positive.
Tongue jerky sounds like a great idea.
I will go over. Wait, so I looted the body that was closest to me. Was that next to the person where the chest was?
Currently in the cart, the person who was on the chest had his neck broken, and Julinak is going through all the bags and chests on the cart.
I'll help.
Okay. So Julinak, you find a knapsack sitting in the bed of the cart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make any checks to open it. Inside. Inside you find a book, but inside of it looks like there's a bunch of Daedric runes inscribed, so you can't really read it. And then also in there is a small folded piece of paper. It looks like a handwritten note.
Also want it.
Emery's like, give me all the books. Give me all the
people
paper.
loot stuff, and she's like, I want it. Give it.
I probably just snatch.
Want it. Give it.
You're like, what the fuck is this book? And Emery's like, mine.
No, it's not. I'm keeping it because I want to decipher it. Right,
Okay.
And what's like what did the letter read?
When you open up the note,
Can't read.
it looks like a little shopping list.
Wait, real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. Does it happen to look anything like this?
No, it doesn't.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. What did it have on the list? Is there anything I should notice?
Just basic provisioning ingredients like flour, salt, stuff like that. This was a personal knapsack.
Okay. I'll just toss it aside.
Emery, you find a couple of bags down on the ground. As you rifle through them, one of them's quite literally a sack of potatoes. And then another bag has it has a small pouch, and inside it looks like some alchemy ingredients.
Yes.
So inside you find a couple of sprigs of columbine and a couple of dried pieces of water hyacinth.
Could you type those for me?
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell stuff.
Okay. So you guys are looting. The cultist in Tashtar's arms, he's going to try to get away from you.
As you would.
So how does a go ahead and roll another strength check for me, please.
Okay. That is a 9.
So he manages to wiggle his way out of your arms, and he's definitely got like teeth marks. He's missing a sizable portion of his cheek at this point. And he's like, now that he's gotten out of that, he's going to try and swing his scimitar at you at disadvantage because he is a little off kilter. Okay, I'm not making this up. I rolled the same thing on both dice. It's not going to hit. It's not going to hit. I rolled a 6 on both dice. So, yeah. And that brings it to your turn, Tashtar.
Well, now that he is
It's a very uncomfortable book. I don't like this. I don't like that at all.
For our viewers, Jeffrey is literally reading the Lusty Argonian Maid right now.
Yeah. Apparently, I could only find 2 volumes, but that's enough
basically
for
it.
my lifetime. I'm good. I'm just gonna go claw my eyes out now. It's horrific. Oh my god.
What do you have against, man?
So,
Not that bad.
so
It's-
Tashtar,
Yes,
Pretty horrifying.
it is your turn.
to hit.
What to hit?
I assume that hits.
What hit?
Oh, I stab.
You stab. What's your roll?
27.
Yeah, that hits.
On our side, Duncan, it was to hit.
To hit.
And we're like, what? What to hit?
All right.
To hit.
6 damage.
Yeah, you stab him. You stab him a couple of times. He's still standing. Only this time, he's clutching at his sides, just enough for Zira to swoop in.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shoot him with an Eldritch Blast.
I'm not even gonna have you roll for that. He dies.
Okay. And she looks at you and she's like, "Stop dicking
Yes, you
around."
get him.
Hey, there was still one
But you're
person
killing
left to
him
kill.
wrong.
Killing him wrong.
It wasn't fast enough.
Tashtar's over there licking blood off of his lips.
Now to
Actually,
commence
no.
with the
She probably
looting.
looked at him and said, "Don't play with your food."
Or like, bad kitty. Bad.
I like the "don't play with your food." That's pretty funny.
So, yeah, what would you guys like to do in this area? So now that you've kind of cleared it of, you know,
Cultist.
cultists. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Is Lilith's ring still sending out a signal to a location to track, or is this kind of it?
It is still sending a signal, but it is sending it to the base of the cliff at the southern end of the valley.
Okay, I'll carefully move over there.
Okay.
I want to look for more valuables around.
Duncan, I need you to
Yes.
make an endurance saving throw for me.
Endurance. Okay. Nat 20. I'm rolling
Okay.
really well today.
Wow.
Okay. Something about that blood tasted weird.
Oh,
But other than that, you're fine.
okay.
Okay, so who else is what else would you guys like to do in this area?
I want to study the Diedrich markings they were writing on it.
So basically, it's the same kind of stuff you would expect to find on a dark anchor. It's all stuff to the effect of like, by the will of Molag Bal, Nirn and Coldharbour shall become one, so on so forth. Just basic summoning stuff.
Okay. Cool beans.
Yeah.
Then I guess I will also look for stuff.
Okay.
I still want to look around for valuables.
You've
Who
pretty much
got all the soldiers?
You guys can search the cultists. If you guys spend the time to search the cultists, you find a grand total of 8 soul gems. If you would like to take a look at your soul gems, or more specifically, if you have any kind of experience with enchanting, you can do an Arcana check on the soul gems to determine what kind of soul gems they are.
Yes, please.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah. I'm assuming you guys split the soul gems amongst yourselves.
I mean, I don't really need soul. If anyone else wants, like, they can.
I do.
Okay, take him.
You're like, dear God,
Goddamn.
take all the stuff.
No, it's just like, okay, stop like begging me for that. I'm like, here.
So
Here, just
I
take this
just-
piece of paper I found.
I just need to know how many soul gems each of you get. It's up to you guys how you guys want to divide them. There are 8 total.
Well, seeing as Zira isn't looting any of the, it's amongst you other ones.
Does
Did you read what I posted?
Yeah, I did.
does
You
does-
posted that whole freaking thing.
No, but I made it PG.
does
You
Duncan
did.
or Lilith have any desire for soul gems?
I'm okay.
I do not. Tosh is quote unquote looting bodies.
Well, that's what I mean by, like,
limbs.
you're finding soul gems as you're looting them. You guys found 8 total. So
Not that kind of looting.
So
okay.
it sounds like as Emery just made away with 8 gems.
Emery made away with 8 soul gems. Okay, so Emery, I would like you to write the following soul gems down. You have a black soul gem.
Ooh.
How do I make this one?
You have a second black soul gem. A lesser soul gem. Another black soul gem. And another black soul gem. A grand soul gem. How many soul gems is that so far?
I'm not
6.
making that one.
Yeah, that's
PG.
6.
Okay. Another grand soul gem. And another grand soul gem.
Are they full?
I need to do my stretches.
Only one of them is full, and it's the lesser soul gem.
Okay.
I'd like you to go ahead and do an insight check for me.
Okay. Give me a second to find my D20. Insight. Ooh, that's something I'm actually good at. Okay. Ooh, 24.
It's not normal even for the Cult of the Black Worm to have this many black soul gems at a single dolmen, especially a dolmen that's being constructed. So there's something else going on here.
So that book that was found full of all the Daedric writing or whatever it was.
Julianek had slipped that into his pack.
You can't have it. It's mine.
It's the one thing she keeps.
So
No, I kept like some of the systems.
May I look at it, Julianek?
I mean, sure. Can you decipher it?
Can I? It's a very good question.
It's your textbook, Revan. You gotta rent it out. Be like five septums a day
5 systems a day.
for my
I
textbook.
can definitely try to decipher it.
Okay. Well, what can you read so far?
go ahead and do an Arcana check for me, Brenna.
Okay. Also, another thing I'm good at. That would be a 22.
This is a spell book. It's got 1 spell in it. You're pretty sure that it would take you close to 4 hours to be able to fully decipher it. But you do know that upon learning the spell, it's a spell that could be used. You're not sure what school this spell is from or whatnot. It would take you more time to decipher it than you have at this particular moment.
Julianek, it is a spell book. This is a spell. Can I trade for a different school book?
For a different school book?
I need your psychology textbook, but I will.
I've got other textbooks.
I'll trade you for this philosophy textbook.
You want 5 septums?
Yes.
Done.
Alright, cool.
Revan's character just wants money. That's all you need.
That's why I need to collect. I try to like get
Which
value.
is funny because you pass up a job that would have gotten you money.
Well, that job would have gotten me killed.
It's a fair
You
point.
saw what happened to my friend.
True.
So
But so is killing cultists. That could also get you killed.
That's
So
true, but you know, it's something that doesn't involve me going back to jail. Like I'm trying not to go back to
Won't get you
jail.
arrested.
Well, as long as you murder cultists, you won't get arrested.
There you go.
So it's fine.
Jeffrey, the beam of light coming from your ring kind of leads you to the base of that cliff face in the picture on the far side of the dolmen.
Picture?
The picture I posted up in Lore and Pictures.
That's the lusty Argonian maid, Josh.
No, that's your picture.
No, you posted that. Wait, the cultist picture?
Yeah.
Lore and Pictures.
So on the
Yeah, I know. I'm just like up the mountain. Where?
No, it's at the base of that cliff. When you get there, when you
I'm
get
sorry,
there,
describe to me where I'm going again. I didn't hear in context with the picture.
so it's on the other side of that dolmen, the big round thing there, at the base of those cliffs. And as you get closer, the light begins to kind of dissipate and go off in all directions. So basically, it's leading you to the spot you're standing in.
Okay.
And Zira is already over there searching for possibly a way in or like a I don't know, cave or some shit. Whatever.
So if you'd like, you can do an investigation check.
Can I do one as well?
Sure.
Investigation.
That will be a 18.
Okay, and Jeffries?
Investigation. That is a 12.
Okay, both of you are easily able to see that there are footprints other than your own that lead to this spot, but they seem to disappear right where Jeffrey's standing.
Oh, goody.
tap around the wall?
This is about 5 feet away from the wall where the footprints disappear.
Is there anything else besides just the cliff face nearby?
Aside from the dolmen, not that you can tell.
I know it's 5 feet away from the wall, but I'm hoping that it's a pull the lever, wrong lever situation.
Okay.
On the lever,
You keep poking around to no avail.
Okay.
Jeffrey, another thing you notice simply because of how close you are to the spot, is the way that the dust and grass is shaped around the area that you're standing in. It looks like they've been blown outward repeatedly. Almost like there's been a gust of wind centered in that one spot that's kind of appeared there multiple times and kind of bent the grass outward.
Time to dig out the shovel.
Okay.
She's
I don't quite know.
Teleportation.
It's gonna be like a low grab. It's gonna be like the
Turn
little
myself
tiny
invisible.
shovel that you use in gardens.
That's the only way.
Is anybody else getting in on this investigation, or?
I'll definitely check it out.
Okay.
Okay. Just so you guys know, like I just recently had when we updated our character to level 6, I got a shout called Aura Whisper, which means I can see items for 30 minutes, or no, not for 30 minutes, in 30 feet, like through walls and stuff like that. So, do you guys think I should use it?
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah. Well, the problem is it just costs one stamina point, so you know, I'm not sure if I need it or not. What do you guys think?
Do it.
Do it. All right. I spend one stamina point and whisper.
So it's Aura Whisper, you said?
Yeah, or what's the proper shout for it?
Oh, you're using a shout.
Yeah, it's a shout. Last Jania. It says right here.
Let's see. I need to find it.
I have it right in front of me if you need me to read it.
I've got it here. Aura Whisper. So, okay. So you cast your shout, and you guys had never seen this. You guys had never seen this before. You'd never seen someone use the dragon tongue.
I do it before. I used food dot.
Oh, I forgot about that. Amrit is the one who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Amrit, you immediately recognize that blast of draconic magic that's come out. You've kind of heard stories of that kind of thing coming from the north, but you'd never seen it in effect. And when he shouts these 3 words of power, his eyes suddenly kind of glow an orangish red. And Reven, all around you,
Yes.
like everybody, your party members are kind of wreathed in like this aura of red light. And you can see like lizards crawling among the rocks at the base of the cliff. You can see off in the distance there's a like just on the edge of your vision, you can see the aura of a deer kind of going through the brush. But what's really weird is right next to where Jeffrey's standing, you can see almost like this vertical line of aura that's super faint, as if it were receding or moving away from you. It's like a vertical...
Wait, that means it's like a... A
And it's
vertical line.
and it slowly shrinks and begins to disappear.
Okay. Can I tell if it's like harmless or not?
You're not really sure. You've never seen an aura behave in this way before.
Okay, I shout at Jeffrey like, hey, there's something right next to your feet.
Where?
Wait, can you not see in the dark?
You're the only one who can see these auras.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Okay.
You're like, there's something right
can
next to
I-
your feet, and I'm looking at the ground. I'm like, where? What? Where?
So does the
Can I look
energy
in-
go up to the sky or like down into the ground?
Well, from you can't see it either, but what Julianak is seeing is it's like about 5 feet tall, just kind of this vertical, almost like a shaft of light, as an aura kind of coming out of thin air, and it's receding. It's beginning to close in on itself.
What does that mean? Can I do like
I
an
have it
investigation
described to
check?
me, and I'm still confused.
Are you relating what you're seeing to everyone else?
Yeah, I tell him what I saw. Okay, I'm the only one who's seeing this right now?
Yeah, the shout only works on you as far as being able to see those auras. So anybody who is a spellcaster in this group can make an insight or an arcana check.
Hello?
Oh wait, shit! I have spellcasting now.
Insight or Arcana.
What am I better at?
18.
Hello?
I'm gonna go with Arcana because that's better.
So a nat 20.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea what's going on.
25 on insight.
So I've got an 18, a 20.
Don't bother.
And another don't bother.
Yep.
Okay.
What did you roll, Duncan?
I rolled a 2.
Oh, I rolled a 4.
Okay.
Almost.
So, I'm going to start with Brenna since she got an 18. When you start feeling around with when you start feeling kind of the ebb and flow of magicka in the area, Brenna, you can actually sense some sort of residual energy near where Jeffrey is standing. It's a familiar type of magic, though you can't quite place your finger on it. Bob, from your perspective, it sounds almost as if he's describing a creature moving through and away from a doorway.
Okay, she starts kind
Hello,
of
can
moving
anyone
around.
hear me?
We can hear you.
And I can hear you.
Zero starts kind of moving around in the area where Jilinak says he saw the like energy.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just starts kind of pacing around in it, seeing if she can walk through the doorway.
So as you're walking through this space, you also begin to notice the almost like blast radius that this grass has formed, and you begin to realize it's not a door so much as a portal. Something like that would have to be opened.
Okay. So she kind of like starts pacing around. And she's like, and she goes, "Anyone know how to open a portal?"
Do I know how to open a portal?
Yes. With most basic portals, if there's something that you haven't done, or like it's not a portal that you initially casted, when it's beginning to fade, you're pretty sure you could force it open by flooding the spot with magicka, which is something you can easily do with a soul gem.
Oh,
a filled soul
How
gem.
convenient.
Oh, in that case, I have extra filled ones.
okay.
Like, do you tell us that?
I mean, I'll just grab a filled lesser soul gem and shove it in it.
Okay, so you hold up your you
Just
hold
shove
up
it in
the
there.
you hold up the soul gem and you send just the slightest surge of magicka through your hand into the gem, and the gem begins to crack, and in front of you guys, a bright white light opens up, and the portal is there for you guys.
Ooh. How do we know this is safe?
I guess I'm gonna walk right in.
Can we like
Jeff?
tie a rope around you and see if you come out?
Sure.
Alright,
I'm
I tie
assuming
a
it's
rope
probably
around
gonna
you.
snap the second I go through, but sure, why not?
Alright, I will tie a rope around you, and you will see that that's safe.
Okay. Raven's gonna use me as a science experiment.
Okay.
To see whether or not it's safe.
So Jeffrey, you walk in
It's
and
like,
you
nope,
find
I hear
yourself.
screams.
You walk in and
We're
you
not
find.
going.
You walk in and you find yourself in a small chamber of pale stone illuminated by glowing blue crystals.
Are there secrets in here?
Behind you in the portal is is a pile of rubble, which kind of implies that you're somewhere subterranean, and there must have been a cave-in on that end of the room. There's only one exit that's present in the room aside from the portal, which leads through the doorway. You can see another smaller chamber, another smaller chamber of similar architecture, and you recognize this architecture from the vision that Lyra had given you.
Alright, well,
Zero walks through the portal.
You see the same thing.
wait, did my rope snap when I went through?
It did not.
Damn it! I was hoping to continue the narrative that if the rope snapped, Raven thought I was dead and she doesn't come with us. She was like, nope, dead. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not ready to die.
Zero's just like, Lilith is squishy, and if she goes by herself, she might die.
Josh,
Yes.
can I use my katana to cut the rope?
Go for it. I'm not even gonna have you roll for it. Raven,
I'm cutting the rope.
Raven, on your side of the portal, the rope goes slack.
Oh, great.
But
Right.
Zero has walked in, so
Yeah, but you didn't have a rope on you, so we don't know if you're dead. I'm dead.
Emery walks through the portal.
You see the same thing that the other two have seen.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'm not very surprised that Lo did this. I'm just like, of course she did. So I just walked
No.
through.
No. That's all against the narrative I'm trying to make.
Toshtar, go through the
Oh,
portal.
too bad.
Yep.
Okay.
Tosh has gotten everything he needs from bodies.
That's horrific.
So you guys see the same thing I described earlier. There is debris on the floor, like a bit of rubble and stuff like that, some sand and gravel and stuff like that. But it's all kind of up near the walls. The floor seems clear, where it looks like there's been plenty of fairly recent traffic. So as you guys kind of get your wits about you and regain your sense of direction, the only other entrance to this room aside from the portal is a doorway on the southern end of the room. And through that, there's another smaller room, kind of like a foyer. And on the left side and the right side of it, there are two worn statues of wild elves on either side, wearing armor and wielding swords in heroic poses.
Well, those are very clearly going to come to life.
So, Emery immediately pulls out a notebook and starts writing down notes and stuff and studying everything.
Yeah, this is definitely...
It becomes a hit romantic movie.
This is definitely... you're seeing this and you immediately recognize it as Alien architecture. The blue...
Aliens.
The blue crystals close to the ceiling are you recognize as being kind of like minor Welkind stones, which the aliens had used quite a bit to illuminate a lot of their rooms and stuff like that in lieu of fire.
I have a question, Josh.
Yeah.
Wait, give me some time first, though.
Okay. The foyer kind of has another doorway at the opposite end of the doorway that you guys entered. It is open and has a small series of steps leading down into a larger antechamber.
Okay.
Proceed forward.
Question is this what this? Wait, I'll post it in general. Actually, is this what the statues look like?
No. They're elves. They're elves. Aliad is just another
aliens.
Aliad with a D.
Aliens.
It's just another word for wild elves. So
little green men.
So you guys push forward into the larger room. The ceiling in this giant room is just very high up. This is easily like a 70 to 100 foot tall room with high vaulted ceilings and pillars kind of holding up the room.
Perfect size for UFO takeoff.
When you walk into the room, on the end of the room closest to you, there's a large T-shaped dais, on top of which are two sarcophagi, which look like they've been broken into and looted. And on the other side of the dais, you see almost like it's like a little room set into the middle of this larger room. And there looks to be some sort of shrine in it. Further on, as you guys kind of explore this room, there's another, the third portion of this room, the southernmost portion, is almost mirroring the northern side, only instead of the dais being raised, it's actually a T-shaped portion of the floor that's been sunken in, with 3 sarcophagi also broken into and looted with bones scattered on the floor. On the east side and west side, there are 2 corridors that you can see leading in their respective directions.
I want to check.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
What was that, Emery?
I want to check out that altar.
Okay. As you walk up to it, you see it's a small statue of this. It's this gruesome, almost skeletal-looking head with 2 large horns extending out of the cheeks, and in front of it is a small saucer filled with blood. Go ahead and do a religion check for me.
Religion check.
Can you make a religion out of this?
23.
This is a shrine to Molag Bal.
Oh.
Okay.
Based on the size and apparent portability of it, it looks like it's a temporary altar. It's been in recent use. You can easily tell that because the blood inside is still fresh and the area around it is clean.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you
I'll
guys
move over to the tombs?
Okay. Which ones? The 3 on the southern side or the 2 on the northern side?
Which ones are closest to the door?
The door that you guys had entered through?
Yes.
The northern side.
I'll go to the northern side first.
Okay. Both sarcophagi are empty, save for like what's left of a few skeletons. Some of the bones look like they've been gnawed on by skeevers. But other than that, there's nothing of note in them.
I just want to like study the markings on them and be a nerd and write stuff down.
Yeah,
Nerd.
they're most definitely just been gnawed on by skeevers, basically giant
Look at
rats.
that nerd over there. Writing.
Yeah, are the tombs covered in writing?
No, they're remarkably like It's beautiful architecture, and so there is like on a lot of these tombs and stuff like that. There's decorative artwork of like silverish blue metal, but no writing that you can see.
Okay, then I will draw stuff.
Okay.
Get that
Um,
drawing.
Toshtar, what are you doing in here?
What am I doing?
It's a good question. Perhaps you could answer it.
I think I'm just gonna do
Can I-
some investigating.
He's gonna go drink the blood.
No.
Crazy person.
Gonna eat the remaining body of their
No. There's only bones.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
only bones. He can't eat. The
And
You
that-
can
flesh
chew
off
on
the
them.
bones.
The bones are too old to get at any marrow. Jeffrey, is there anything in particular that you're doing in this room? The ring is no longer putting up any light.
Well, I'm assuming this is probably a ritual. Well, okay. This is like a ritual room. So the prison that my daughter's in is not going to be here. So I'm just going to go down one of the other hallways in hopes that I can find it.
Okay. East or west?
Weiss.
God damn it.
We've been making SpongeBob references all day. I had to continue it. We'll go east.
Okay. Zira, I'm assuming you're going along with the bard?
Yes.
Nobody
When
has
she
to come
sees
with
that
me, just
the
saying.
tombs have been kind of defiled, she kind of mutters a small prayer to Tuaka, which is the god of the afterlife, at least for her people.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of pays some respects.
Okay. All right, so
But she also is kind of looking around to see which hallway seems to have the most foot traffic going in and out of it.
they
That
That'd
might
be
have
what,
been a
survival?
smart idea.
sure, survival.
That'll be a 22.
Both appear to be equally well traveled.
Great.
Okay.
The southern end of the antechamber is a lot less kept up, and so there's not really any foot traffic over there. But the two corridors, the area from the doorway you guys had entered down to the Shrine of Molag Bal, and the space around Molag Bal are all clean as if they're regularly traveled.
Okay.
Wait, juice.
And the hallways to the east and west, which one of those seems the most used?
They're both equally used.
Okay.
Hey, Joshua.
Yes.
Has it been past 10 minutes already?
You guys are kind of milling about in the room, yeah. However, it hasn't quite worn off yet. You've got maybe about another minute left, but you're not seeing any other auras in this room.
Okay.
And
Not even past the walls or anything?
you're able to given that how musty and stale the air is, you're pretty sure you're underground, and these walls are definitely too thick to see through.
Okay.
Okay. Zero will go ahead and follow Lilith.
Okay. So you guys head down the corridor. Are the rest of you guys going to follow, or continue exploring this room, or explore the other hallway?
I want to see if there's anything more.
You're looking for something of value?
Follow.
Yeah.
The only thing that seems like it'd be worth any sort of money is the Shrine of Molag Bal.
Okay. Can I
It's
take
portable. Go ahead and steal it.
I mean, it's about this.
Nothing bad will
Before
happen.
Zira heads down the hall with Lilith, she'll kind of look over at Toshtar and ask if he will scout the other hall. since he can be stealthy and quiet, and sneaks in the dark.
We didn't quite catch that, Duncan.
Oh, I'm gonna be following.
Oh, Zero was asking if you could scout out the western hallway.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I didn't hear that part.
All right. So, Zira, Lilith, both go to the eastern hallway. Duncan heads to the western. Amrit is busy taking notes, and Julinak is trying to see if there's a way he can fit this this like hope chest-sized altar into his bag.
I'm glad
I like
that
carrying
we
around my
successfully-
shoulder.
We split the party in 3.
Um,
It's always a
Well,
good idea.
we have a fightery person with one squishy, a fightery with another, and then a sneaky person hopefully not getting caught.
I'm going to start with Duncan.
Okay.
So you head
Duncan
over
has
to the
first.
entrance to the other hallway, and you find that instead of the hallway going straight forward, it's a wider hallway heading southward. There is just enough shadow in here. Some of the welkin stones have been broken. So there's a few spots of darkness in here that you might be able to use. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me as you travel down this hallway a bit.
Okay. 17.
Okay, so you manage to sneak down just a little bit, and once you get maybe halfway down the corridor, you see that there are five people standing near a doorway at the end of the hallway, and they're kind of talking softly amongst themselves, not really paying much attention, and given that two of them are fairly large and they look like they're wearing heavy armor, your best guess is that they're probably trying to keep guard of something.
Okay. Well, I'm going to continue sneaking by, but first things first, I'm going to use the ability of the shadow and cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. The door that they're standing by is closed, and you're not sure you'd be able to get past them undetected to get to the door. But you're able to count, as I'd mentioned, 5 individuals. There's a Breton standing there with wearing robes emblazoned with the symbol of the worm cult, and kind of lazily kind of twirling a staff around in his hand. There's another individual with a staff, and the red eyes and dark skin kind of betray the fact that he's a Dunmer. You see a tail poking out of the trousers of another one of those members, and you're able to tell that he's most definitely another Khajiit. But the two big fellas they're unmistakably orcs.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
So am I like around a corner or something? Or was I before I turned invisible?
No, but you were luckily in a spot of shadow and they hadn't really noticed. You're maybe about 3/4 of the way down this hallway. It's just like a straight shot down after turning left from entering through the doorway that you came in from.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a way to do this.
Maybe.
So, are there like
Don't.
any like? Hey, don't worry. I have a dumb idea. Like most of
Yeah,
my ideas.
it's already dumb.
I know.
It can only get worse.
Trash star, what are you
Are
gonna
there any
do?
like rocks or small pebbles around?
Oh my god.
There is a fairly like a decently sized statue of a wild elf hero of some kind nearby. At the base of it, there are pieces of broken marble.
Okay. I'm going to cast Unseen Servant
Okay.
and have it throw a rock. Not at anyone, just kind of throw a rock to make noise.
They all kind of look up and look up startled a bit. And one of the orcs goes, "Did you guys hear that?" The Khajiit responds, "This one heard it, but it's probably just the statue decaying again. You get so jumpy sometimes."
He's Italian.
I-
So jumpy sometimes.
I can't help it. This place just gives me the creeps. Perhaps you should take a little bit of moon sugar. It will calm your nerves. And the Dunmer speaks up. None of that while on shift. We need to keep our eyes peeled. We can't let the ritual be interrupted. And then hopping back over to the main antechamber. Emrit and Reven. So Emrit, you see Julinak kind of pacing around the altar, almost as if he's sizing it up.
Okay.
And you've pretty much taken all the notes you possibly could on this chamber. There wasn't much out of the norm for an Iliad structure like this. The best guess you could tell is that this is a tomb.
Okay. Do I know how those blue stones work?
Go ahead and make a history check for me.
History.
That's funny.
Yori.
Oh, that'd be a 25.
Ooh.
So for the most part, a lot of the functionality of the Welkin stones have been lost to time. However, you do know that they served almost like batteries of magicka, which is what lends them their blue glow. Most of these smaller ones, like you're seeing throughout the room, were solely used for illumination. They weren't useful for much else. A lot of Welkin stones can fetch for a fairly decent price on the market, depending on their size. But compared to the other ones you've seen, like in your time in the Mages Guild and whatnot, these ones are just so common that they're not worth nearly as much.
Okay.
So they're just fancy lights.
Okay. Julianek, shall we move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because doing that common sense finally you have Molong bow. It's probably not a good idea.
That is probably correct.
Yeah. All right. So which hallway are you guys headed to, east or west?
I'm partial to west.
Okay.
West.
Okay. So you guys head toward the hallway that that Toshstar had gone down, and as you get there, yeah, as you guys get to the entrance to that hallway, you kind of hear some chatter down at the end of the hallway, though you're not quite able to make much of it out. In the eastern hallway, Zira and Lilith, you guys travel down the hallway a bit, and it takes a sharp right, only to take a sharp left again, and you find yourselves in a room with five doors, 3 on the left-hand side and 2 on the left, aside from the entryway that you'd come in on. And all of them are fairly nondescript, no handles, no locks. but between each of them is a large Welkin stone set into some sort of plate. And there's no other entrance to this room aside from the ones that you guys had come in. So they look like they might have been storage rooms of some kind or whatnot, but you're not really sure. You'd probably have to open one up.
Alright, was this the same kind of door from the vision that Lilith had gotten?
Yes.
Okay.
What's behind door number 1?
Pretty much. I'll go up to the closest door and listen at it.
It's a thick chunk of stone. You're not really able to hear anything through it.
Okay. I look at Lilith and I'm like, use your magic, open the door.
What magic?
Can I make an Arcana check
Sure.
in hopes that I figure anything out? Which I wouldn't put much faith in. Intelligence. 13.
So you kind of make your way around the door. You're kind of trying to feel for any kind of pulses of magicka that might be coming from them. And
It appears to be a door.
you start getting a little frustrated, and you lean up against the wall, and your back hits one of those plates, and the door to your right, it's the first door on your guys' left, slides open, and you guys see two stone tables inside with like thin blankets on them, almost like they were being used as makeshift beds. But other than that, this particular room is empty.
Okay. I push one of those little plate thingies that's next to a different door.
Okay. So that would be, there's 2 on the left and 2 on the right that have been unopened.
Either.
Okay.
Left.
Okay. So you go to the next door down, and you press the button, and it opens up. And inside, you see a couple of people kind of jump back and get into almost defensive stances. And one of them is an orc, and the other one is a Khajiit. And they're not really wearing much. They're unarmed. They're wearing basically tatters. And they kind of blink at you in surprise, and the Khajiit looks to you and says, "Wait a second. You're not one of the cultists, are you?"
She could be.
She kind of just like clenches her teeth and she says, "No."
Oh, thank the moons. He walks up and kind of extends a hand. "This one's name is Wrothgar. It is a pleasure. You wouldn't happen to be here to get us out, are you?"
Not at all.
Can you fight?
"Oh, this one has seen his fair share of fights." And
I didn't ask if you'd seen them. I asked if you can.
"Do you think these claws would remain sharpened if I didn't find myself in fights fairly often? This one is still alive."
There are trees and shit.
She looks at the other one in the room. What about you?
She looks to you, she says, she kind of gives a curt nod. She's like, "There's hardly an orc in Orsinium who doesn't know how to fight."
Good.
I'll be back.
And she strides forward and kind of, she crosses her arm over her chest in greeting. You recognize that as being something that some of the orcs in the different strongholds do as a way of saying hello. And she goes, Motrub Grogralish. And you are?"
Zira speaks Orcish, so she gives the appropriate reply.
Okay. It's good to see that. It's good to see that you're here. Unfortunately, I've been stuck with the rambling of this cat the whole time. Srothadar kind of gives this indignant look and then almost like a little smirk.
In Orcish, she responds with, "I know the feeling."
We all.
Two in my group.
And she just looks at you. She goes, "How in Malakath have you kept your sanity?"
Focus.
Well, I applaud you, little one. She kind of looks over at Srothadar and then back at you. She goes, have you been able to save the others yet?
Not yet. You're the first. Come, we must get the rest.
Okay. So I'm guessing you guys open up another
Yep.
another chamber. When you open it up, it's actually more of a storeroom, and inside you see some clothes that have been laid out, a little bit of armor, a couple of weapons. Srothadar charges in, and he quickly grabs a set of leathers and a sword. He goes, "This one has missed this blade."
Zira smiles.
And you notice that the leathers that he's putting on, there are pockets all over them.
That doesn't surprise her.
And Motrib kind of looks to you. She says, "Since your coin pouch tight, he tends to be a little grabby."
The last who tried to grab no longer has hands.
Are you saying this in Orcish as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Srothadar looks to you. He goes, "This one did overhear a little bit of what the cultists were planning. You see, this one was not kidnapped like the other ones in here. This one was caught stealing from them. There were some valuables that they left lying around, and they simply needed to be taken and given new homes, and they didn't seem to share that sentiment."
She just looks at him. She's like, "And what did you hear?"
Not much. A little bit about needing to create a stronger dolmen. Not quite sure what they meant about that, but they've specifically been looking for those with magic in their blood. A strong enough amount of magicka. I don't know why they want to harness it, but it seems like what they've been targeting.
Well, we better find the others and put a stop to whatever this is.
Okay. So, I'm gonna hop over to Duncan and the others real quick. So, how close are you guys going to want to sneak up to where Tashtar is?
I'm invisible.
I want to sneak close enough so I can
You cut out there. Close enough so that you can
see what they look like. Especially because you mentioned orcs, I want to know if I can recognize them.
Yeah, there are a couple of orcs. They don't look like anyone you know. And from the looks of it, one of them does have some tattoos characteristic of one of the strongholds, but it's they look marred somehow, almost like he kind of done some sort of scarring work to try to muddle the tattoos. So he likely was trying to hide what stronghold he used to be part of. But yeah, you guys see similar things as what Duncan had seen. The two orc fighters, a Breton and a Dunmer, both wielding staves, and a Khajiit kind of leaning up against a wall with his tail swaying from side to side, and he's tossing a dagger around, doing little dagger tricks in his hand.
Okay, so there's 6 of them.
5.
5, okay. Okay, so I whisper to Ajanti, or no, not Jaunty. Emmerich.
Yeah.
And so do you think we should, I don't know, maybe do something, tell them that we have some people down here?
Well, we already have a member down here. He is just not able to be seen.
Yeah, but we need but we probably need.
Oh, does Julinak want the murder machine?
Where's my daughter?
Yeah, we have somebody down here, but not the tiny murder tornado.
They are all together. I could fireball them, but I would like to know what they are planning.
All right, fine. Let's
Fireball
listen
now,
in a
ask
little more.
questions later.
Yeah, burn now, ask questions later. That's what Speak With That is for.
Yeah.
Aw.
Not sure they'll really be willing to talk to us, but whatever. Oh, fuck you! You killed us.
And they're wearing like the same cloak that the other cultists, right?
The Breton and the Dunmer are. The Khajiit looks like he's wearing like a black leather armor. It does have the symbol of the cult on it, but other than that, it's a plain leather armor. And the two orcs are wearing some pretty heavy looking plate armor.
I just got a
Great.
brilliant
Gonna let you
I have a question, Josh.
Yes.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I keep saying I have a question, and then I have to save something before I ask the question.
Julinak, I have
Does
an
the
idea.
Khajiit look anything like this?
Is it bad?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Are you
No.
sure, or are you just saying it's a good?
Well, I want to pass it
Wait,
by
sorry,
you.
hang on. Let me find
You
a
can be my backup.
better
Alright, fine,
zoomed
what
in
is it?
picture.
So,
Wait, what?
I have a few things which could pass me as a cultist without having a rope. But I could pretend that I am a cultist here
There
to
you
make
go,
sure
Josh.
everything is going smoothly.
Also,
and then they
check
can
out
tell
the
me that
interaction
everything's going
key.
smoothly, and I can get details.
So it doesn't look
I
like
mean,
this
that's-
Khajiit?
No, it does not.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea, you know? You can actually get some more information. They look very shady, but I don't know. It doesn't, I mean, they may be cultists, they may be not. I don't know, because some of them are rope.
They're definitely cultists.
No, they
Well,
just
how would you know?
maybe they just like robes, guys.
Okay, I wouldn't be, I don't know,
I want to pass this by you first because if I get in trouble, you're gonna have to save my ass.
alright,
Good
fine,
way to
I'll
go
do
about
that.
it.
Quick question.
Wait, are
Do
you
I
like
hear
a-
this conversation happening?
Your keen ears can kind of hear a little bit of whispering coming from behind you. Do you head back to join them, or are you staying up near the cultists?
I'm staying up near the cultists for now.
Okay. You can't really make out what your companions are saying, but like each time a whisper gets just a little bit shrill, you kind of cringe just a little bit, just worried that the cultists would hear. But it doesn't look like the cultists have noticed yet. They're still kind of talking amongst themselves. They keep dropping mentions here and there of some sort of ritual in progress, and that a man named Umagab. You're not entirely sure who that might be, but you recognize it as an orcish name. It wanted to ensure that the ritual remained undisturbed while it was in progress.
You should disturb the fuck out of that ritual.
That's the plan.
Fireball him. Just fucking fireball him, babe.
But touch them.
So, Josh,
Yes.
I want to put on all of my cultist regalia, like that I have on me. So like the necklace that I have, various things I picked up.
Okay.
This is a bad idea because I have a
Yeah.
terrible performance check.
All right, so
It's a worse
it'll
idea.
take
Yeah,
you
back if things go to shit.
it'll take you a couple of minutes to switch into your cultist regalia. So in that couple of minutes, I'm gonna hop back to the others. You guys finally open the last chamber, and inside, a young red guard jumps up in surprise, and he also takes a defensive posture, but he then recognizes your faces from when you guys had talked with him, and he charges toward the door. We need to get her. They're going to kill her.
Zira nods, turns on her heels, and rushes back out the corridor, presumably towards the other corridor, which she's assuming is where they're keeping her.
Yeah, when Yujin runs into the antechamber, he stops. He doesn't know where he's going or where he's at.
She goes back out the door that leads to the corridor, because that's the only other place to go from here, right? Back to the big
Foyer.
There's the foyer where the portal is, and the corridor that the others went down.
Okay, because we've cleared the east corridor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, she's heading towards the west one.
Okay.
And she says, "Keep up."
Yujin simply nods, and as he runs, he picks up a couple of sizable stones in lieu of swords.
She tosses him her the 2 Dunmer blades that she has.
Oh, okay.
I can only wield 2 weapons at a time. I don't need 4.
When you toss them to him, he kind of, as he's running, he tests the weight a little bit just to get a feel for them. And like all red guards, he quickly adjusts to account for their weight. The orc in the area that you're in, Jeffrey, follows after them, and Srathadar turns to you. He goes, "Well, Srathadar thinks there might be a little bit of adventure here, perhaps a little more coin.
Oh my god.
Care to join this one?"
Let's go.
And so you guys follow as well. Emery,
Yeah.
you just finished getting your regalia on when Zira, a younger red guard, an orc, a Khajiit, and Lilith all come running into the room. Zira, you run in and you see Amrit decked out in worm cult garb.
Uh-oh.
I kind of level my blade at him and be like, "We'll later."
No, he's
shit.
joined them now. He's one of them. You have to kill him.
No. Okay, I
She's
just
more worried about the girl going to be sacrificed than she is about the
A traitor.
yeah. She'll deal with him later.
Wow.
I feel like shh, she's going in the skies. God, better be quiet.
I love this idea.
Have you not met Zira? Like,
I love this.
Oh, sure.
Let's see
Tiny
if our
child.
friend can get away with this disguise thing.
All right, go in there.
That'd be awful. I love it.
Okay, so are you guys trying to talk Zira down, or?
I would talk to her down like, shh, you better shh.
Quick, tie a rope around her.
she looks at you, Jolinak, and she says, "If we do not stop this now, they will kill the girl."
Every just gestures for her to go past.
Fine.
He's like,
Oh, she's already in the skies. She's already in the skies. What are we gonna do?
gesture.
All right, fine.
She says, "Would you like to take the first fire?"
Oh, yes.
Okay, so behind you, Tashdar, you hear a commotion coming from the other room. And right as you turn around to try to shush the other two,
Oh my god.
they all come running in.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm going to say we'll pause here for the moment so we can all take some bio breaks, and then we will pick